Okay, so I know that I haven't released an episode in a long time, but anyways, that's because I'm trying to imagine everything I am doing on the internet. Because it's like there's a certain place you get to in content creation or whatever, and you just wonder what the hell are you doing. Maybe to some people will say, oh, you're doing well, oh, you're doing okay, but it feels like as a content creator, it feels like you are entitled to people always giving you reviews, or always liking your post, always liking your video, always liking an episode and giving you reviews back. So it's like you need that every time. It's like the fix you need every time you release something on the internet. And I'm not going to lie, since this year, this is the first time Ordinary has taken, I don't want to say a big hit because it's like, oh, this is a big hit, but it's like this is the first time Ordinary has just been silent. Maybe because I left school. I mean, maybe because life happened, or maybe because I took a long break. Because it's like other times when I take a break and come back, people would want to still listen. But now it's like, oh, okay, we just want to make money. Podcast is not really out there, so get the fuck out of my faces or of our faces. But if you're still listening to this right now, I just want to say thank you so much. And you know what? Every time I judge myself, I feel like, oh my gosh, I didn't do anything right. Oh my gosh, maybe I could have edited that video better, or I could have written that stuff better, or I could have said something better. But I'm like, I view other people's content that other people like, and I realize that it's almost the same thing. It's just that it's Chiwendo that is doing it. Probably like what Chiwendo is saying is not what they want to hear right now. They just want to hear what other people they love or trust is saying. I don't know. I would just say that I've been trying to put myself in a situation where it's like, let me get to this place where people can trust me, where people can, see where I'm coming from, or what my opinions are, or what my views are. But it's like, it's crazy. I don't know what to do. Most times I'm like, oh, I want to give up. I'm tired of this thing. I don't want to do this again. But it's like the air I breathe is like, if I don't say XYZ, I'm gonna die. No, you're not gonna die, children. But it's like a passion, an obsession. It's like I need to say that thing so that another person would relate to it, so that somebody that has felt that way but feels like nobody feels that way can hear that another person feels it. Do you understand? For them to see perspective with me, or for them to see the opinions I have. And I know that there's someone that listens to me that might like what I do on the internet, but they don't just say it. And it's like, this is my kids tell you that your mother said that you don't admire quietly. You become vocal about what you like. I know it's all fun, laughter, and lightness, but I'm not going to lie to you. It's not like that. I'll just say that I've been struggling emotionally when it comes to what I'm doing. And instead of getting like reviews or whatever, it's like people would always tell me, okay, not people, just maybe one or two persons that I've related these fears to, or I've told what's happening to, would be like, oh, just re-strategize your content, do better, and it's like, okay, I get that, I get that, but most of these people that are doing big stuff on the internet, it's almost the same thing. It's just that maybe they started longer than I started, or they had a bigger support system, or a bigger community, or I don't know, or maybe, luck struck, Instagram favored them, Apple Podcast favored them, and boom, they are here. I hate criticism. Oh my gosh. Today is 19th March 2024, and I was furious with anger today. My blood was boiling because I came to work early to do this voiceover, and I finished it and sent it back to the owner, and I made a few corrections and I brought it back. But then other people were already in the office, so they were listening to me work, and I didn't have a problem with them listening to me work. It's just that it's fine, it's cool. It's just that it's now room for people to now say that, oh, this is not good, oh, this is not good. I feel like maybe someone said it to me, but I feel like, in as much as I hate criticism, I would love when you criticize me, you give me a solution, and make sure that the solution that you're giving me, you can do it as well, so that you can easily put me through if I ask you to put me through. Do you understand? I don't think it's wise for you to criticize somebody and you don't have the solution, and also you can't carry out the solution yourself. Does that make sense? I have this particular boss at work who just criticizes me, and every time anybody criticizes me, I feel my heart beat faster. That self-loathing, that oh my god, Chiwanda, you're not good enough, just comes back to me. I was like, oh my god, I've just been useless in my life. Understand? So it's like, when people criticizes me, it just gives like confirmation to the fact that I am not doing the right thing, or I'm not good enough, or this stuff is not for me. So I become like defensive, like really defensive. I would want to defend myself. I would love to be like, oh, but can't you see this part? So it's just like, I know it's not okay, because there's this quote that has been flying through the internet that says, you start growing when you receive the truth about yourself. So it's like, when you accept that, oh, this is how this is, and I really need to change it and re-strategize, you get to start growing. You get to start moving from point A to B to C to. And I'm not going to lie to you. With everything I've ever done on the internet, I always re-strategize. I always think of ways to make it better. And I know it's just crazy to be entitled to people seeing what I do to appreciate it. It's totally crazy. And I feel like the path of work I chose, I'm doing myself a very big disservice, because I'm the kind of person that wants people to like me. I'm the kind of person that wants people to see me, to validate me, to praise me, to make me the center of their world. But it's not always like that. So if it gets to a place where people don't see me, people don't like see that, oh, I actually put in work into this thing, I just start withdrawing. I just start questioning everything I've ever done. And people are like, okay, you should just like edit this video better. But I know that there are videos that I've edited with my life. There are podcasts I've edited with my life, but nobody gave a shit about it. Maybe somebody gave a shit about it, but anyways, they didn't make it known to me. So I'm still on criticism. When people criticize me, and also maybe it's because I don't have like a very strong sense of self yet. I'm growing it, don't get me wrong. I'm always growing my sense of self, but I feel like it's at this point is fragile. It can be easily broken by a person's word, and before I could stay longer in it, but now I'm like, I can easily bounce back from it. So my sense of self is fragile. So when you criticize me in like, oh, what are you doing? Can't you see that this is the way you have been doing this thing for 1 year and still you're not doing it well? I just low to myself. It makes me more anxious. It makes me more nervous. It makes me even hate myself the more. It makes me question who I am. What am I even doing on this earth? So my boss criticized me and I just felt so angry. Then there is this other guy in our office that now added to the salt in the injury and was not telling me, oh, it doesn't have depth, so it doesn't like my voice in the voiceover didn't have depth, blah blah blah. I was like, my voice doesn't have depth, so what should I do? What's the solution? It was not like, oh, he can't use the software, but he knows that my voice. I wanted to hold like, fuck you, man, you can't use the software, you're telling me shit. It was like, you don't know about the software and you're telling me that the voice doesn't sound okay. I know that somebody is like saying that, oh, he actually has every right. I get it. He has every right. But I feel like there's a way to approach it. There are some people I love listening to their criticism. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm also criticizing myself. I feel like the only person that should criticize me is me. But anyways, that's like crazy. It doesn't work that way. I wanted to say something, but I've forgotten what I wanted to say. So what I wanted to say was that I listen to people's criticism, and the kind of people's criticism I listen to is people that softly criticize me. Because I'm very fragile, I would want you to criticize me softly. You just be like, Chiwendo, I feel like you should do it this way. Have you thought of doing it this way? And you just help me think. You help me think about doing it that way you were thinking of, because obviously that's. But if you come from the school of thought of that doesn't sound good, this thing you're doing, it doesn't sound good, why not add this? Do you understand? It has just destroyed my self morale. But if you come from the place of, because I know I create good stuff, I do good stuff, but people would always want a certain thing to be a certain way. That's why whenever I'm getting works from clients, I always ask them, how do you want it to sound? Because if I create it the way I want to, you might not like it, even though it's good. So okay, I feel like I'm saying a lot of words here, but I'm just going to say things one by one, right? Instead of telling me, this is not good, this is the way that is good, can't you come from the place of I like how you did this. Have you thought of trying it this way? Or putting a bed or an instrumental a song that doesn't have voices in it, maybe instrument, I think it will sound better. And then when I tried it sounds better, like, oh yeah, it did. Than just totally destroying everything I did from scratch. Do you know the mental power it took for me to bring up the idea and actually execute it? Do you know the mental power it took for me to be confident enough to put 2 and 2 together to create that thing? I think we should do better with criticizing people, because people are constantly questioning themselves. Aside from the criticism, let me talk about validation. So all the work I do in my life, I need to seek validation from people, from creating on Instagram, YouTube, my podcast, talking on radio, doing voiceover, jingles, sweepers, beds, whatever. My self-esteem, or how I see myself, or how I know that I'm good, is when someone tells me I'm good in what I created. That's how I know that, I have talent in this. But innately, do you really have talent? I was talking to one of my boss, Mr. Saye. If you haven't listened to the episode I did with Mr. Saye, you gotta listen to it. He's a genius, right? I was kind of like talking to him about me always seeking validation from people. And he was like, if you base your validation on people, especially when they criticize you, or when they don't even criticize you, or when they praise you and when they don't praise you, then you'll be waiting around forever. Because people will validate you and criticize you based on what they want. Do you understand? And because the both of you are different, that doesn't mean that what you did or what you created was not good. It's just that they want it to be their own way. For example, now you arrange the room and it is beautiful. You arrange the bed very well. You put this very well. You put it in a great, like, the room is totally organized. But somebody can walk in and be like, I don't like how this room is organized. I want the table here. I want the table here. That doesn't mean that the way you arrange that room is bad. It's just that it's not to their taste. It's not how they like the room to be arranged. But the room is arranged and it's okay. It's good. In fact, if that person could stay in that room, they could stay, but they just want it to be according to their taste. Do you understand? So it helps me gain perspective a little bit. It was like, when people say that they don't like what I did, it's not like it's bad. It's just that it's not in the way they like. Like, it's not the way they envisioned it. More like, that's not how they saw the thing sounding like, or that's not how they saw the graphic being like, or that's not how they saw their website being like, or that's not how they envisioned their room to be like. It's not bad in this sense. It's just that it's not how they saw it to be like. When you give somebody a work to do, you already have like this imagination of how it should be like, and you expect that when the person is doing it, it should look like that. Do you understand? That's just basically what it is. So when the person does it according to their own taste, and when you say it, you're like, this is not what I asked you to do. This is how I want it to look like. But then, because creators like us, like me, we are fragile, and the work we do, how a person receives the work we do is how we know we are good enough, right? It's like, you're saying that I am not good at what I do. But that's not what the person might be saying. The person is just saying that this is not how I saw the work being. Can you do it like this? So it just depends on how the person words what they are saying. But the person, your client, it just depends on how they're saying it. That is okay, but this is how I saw this thing to be. Can you do it? Like, that's why if you're doing a work for anybody, you should ask them, how do you want it to look like? It might sound stupid. Believe you me, asking the stupidest question would help you a lot. It might sound stupid, but ask them to the barest details. You understand? The barest things. How do you want it to sound like? How do you want it to look like? What feeling do you want to get from it? And you could only try to make sure that you bring their vision to life. I'm not going to lie to you. Most times I feel like a mess. I feel like, what am I doing? But I'm growing my sense of self. I'm growing who I am. I'm growing my perspective on the world. I'm growing my perspective. I'm learning who I am. It's not easy, but most times I just feel like escaping. Most times I just feel like wanting to go back to those days when I didn't have all of this, when I didn't need to go on social media or Instagram. Sorry, I'm just checking whether there's lights. Okay, there's no lights. When I didn't need to post on social media or be vocal about anything. Most times I just feel like the days when I was dreaming about doing stuff was better than me doing it actually. And that might be the reason why a lot of people don't actually get to actualize the life they want, because it's like dreaming is safer. It's like it doesn't meet with people, it doesn't meet the real world. It's just in this bubble, cocoon, very sweet, and you can exaggerate it the way you want, you can expand it in the way you want, you can take it to any country you want, and it's still safe. But when you start actualizing the dream, it's like, God, I didn't see all these parts. And then you notice there are like nuances, there are like things that your dreams didn't factor in, and it's like, do you stay to see where this dream leads you, or you just give up totally? I don't know what the answer is going to be. I don't know what I'm going to give up. I don't know what I'm going to wait and see. But I might wait and see, because just like I told you, this is an obsession. This is like a part of me that I'm always sharing. I'm just so sorry to the people I was angry today, because that criticism hurt me so much. But I'm getting to a place where I accept criticism with my full chest. If you're listening to this episode, I just want to say thank you so much for listening. And if it's something that you liked listening to, please share it with other people. Talk about ordinary. Let ordinary regain its past glory. Share it with people. Subscribe, review, rate. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. God bless you. Bye.